Hello, today I'm building in Forgotten Hollow, and I did go ahead and I placed some rocks down to just get like a base for like what I wanted and the vibe I was going for. And so this is a build that is inspired by the Underworld in the new Fortnite map. Um, there's like this really beautiful, like cool, glowing green river throughout the Fortnite map right now, which like you go in and it, like lets you like have a buff where you could kind of like teleport forward a little bit, and it is surrounded by a lot of like dead trees and really pretty stone stuff like that. It's very castle-y area, and I was playing with my friend Nancy, and I was like, wow, I really want to build something like this. And I didn't think I would get around to it for a little while, but I started this like a couple hours after I had finished playing. I was like, yeah, I need to do this right now. And I'm glad I did because I'm like really happy with this build. It's been like a little while since I had a lot of fun doing an interior of a build. I think that my last like few builds, I was just doing an interior just because I've had to do an interior. Where this one, I was actually really excited, and it's because I go with a lot of green lighting. So you'll see after you had kind of seen just before, I was placing green lava lamps into the river to make it glow at night, and I hope I could get good enough pictures of it glowing at night. Because the build itself is pretty dark, and Forgotten Hollow is a really dark world too. And I use a lot of like darker stone swatches. I use most of the stuff from the Castle Estates kit, which you'll see while I'm doing it. You had seen the intro too. And I set up a like that pile of rocks to the back of the lot. I just used, I don't, are they vampire rocks? They could be. Um, they like blend in with the world really nicely, and I layered some bushes with white flowers around to make it feel a little bit more natural. And there's like a boarded up tunnel, which I guess it could lead somewhere, and a giant dead tree with some other smaller dead trees lying around. Um, I really don't remember if I don't think I had an inspiration picture for this. I think I just wanted something simple. I was kind of like influenced um with my friend Mossy Sims builds. I felt like I was channeling that shape while I was doing this. I don't know why. It's just like that's what was going on in my head while I was building this. And like the same with that the glass roof that I currently have on. I do change it to a mossy roof, but like that glass, I think it was like me channeling her a little bit. But I like the moss on it. I think that it adds a little pop of green where like the background has a lot of green trees, and there is like a bunch of moss around, so I have like mossy like logs around, and so I thought that the roof like tied everything together a little bit. And I was able to use more of the castle state stuff for like the taller wall heights, which I don't usually build with medium or tall wall heights very often, and I feel like this was a good opportunity to get to use that, especially that arch, because I really just haven't really been able to use it besides like right around when the kit came out. And I did a build. It was like my abandoned castle build, I think, and I made sure that I was able to use all of that, but it's been like a few months now, right? A couple months. Yeah, it's been 2 months because I haven't streamed in 2 months. Well, I mean, I streamed today, but on Twitch it said I haven't streamed in 2 months. So I'm pretty sure the last time I streamed before this was like the day the castle kit came out. And so like that was a long time ago that I used some of these taller wall height stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I used like only windows from this too. If I notice anything else, I'll point it out. But right now, just looking at the build, it's all castle states plus werewolves with the roof. And potentially something for the foundation. I'm assuming I used the Castle States foundation though, because that one's really good. Yeah, I did. I could see it now. It was just like a little bit into the water, a bit too much. But I decided to go the side entrance because I realized that I didn't really leave space for a door. And I really like the side and back of it too. It feels very like churchy in the back, which I really like the look of. I think it looks really pretty from like the back. And so I kind of just went with that sort of vibe, except it is a house on the inside. It's like a one bedroom, one bathroom house, and like the towers are like an office space and a place for plants and stuff like that. Um, I yeah, I just I couldn't go with a community lot or I think that I would not have known what to do. So I just took like the easy way of just making it a house, even though I feel like the exterior doesn't really look like a house, but that's okay. And I was pulling out different greenery to just try and see what I can scatter around on the outside. I was mostly just going with anything that like brought in more greenery. And I'm using this from Cottage Living and I sized it down and I put it like inside the walls a little bit and it doesn't interfere with the build at all because it is technically on the roof. So when you lower the roof down, it disappears, which I really liked because I like how this specific ivy looks on the stone, which we don't really have in the game. We don't have like very like scattered, sparse ivy like this. And so I thought it gave it a really like nice look compared to how I usually do ivy, which is just using the standard pieces that cover up a lot of the wall, but this like feels like just like a few leaves here and there, which I really liked. And I think it goes really well with these ivy pieces, which I don't know which, oh, those are from Horse Ranch, I'm pretty sure, those ivy pieces. And I did remember to save this one unfurnished as well as having it furnished. So both will be up on the gallery. However, my speed build that's coming out like in a couple weeks, I forgot to save it unfurnished, so that one's just going to be completely furnished on the gallery instead of both, which is fine because it's a very tiny build. It's for another sort of collab. Um it's literally just it's like two rooms the build. It's not that big. It's going to be a very short video, I think. Probably like under 20 minutes, 15 minutes or so. But yeah, I really like this build. I like how lush it looks right now, and I feel like all the plant pieces really work together nicely. And it just comes together nice. And I made sure that I was like, okay, Megan, focus on the terrain paint because in your last video you said that you might have forgotten how to do terrain paint. So you need to figure it out. And then I was thinking about Vicky, aka Siren Witch, complimenting my terrain paint. I was like, you can't let Vicky down, Megan. You've got to try and blend this terrain paint in. And I think it does. I think it works really well. I think it looks nice. And I placed some piles of dirt around and I've used like just the white mushroom sized up one because I can't like that's just my go-to for landscaping is those mushrooms and the cottage living grass around and then like sometimes I'll just bring in other pieces, but I mostly use landscaping that I had used in Simley Sash's shell challenge because I guess it was fresh in my mind. But yet it glows so nicely in the dark. I feel like this is so pretty with the green. I really was trying to make the build glow as much as I could too. I don't show all of it. I cut it out because it was a lot of me just placing like lights around and trying to get it to glow without um like the lights visually affecting the build because I don't like seeing a lot of lanterns on the outside of my build. And so I was like making sure that I put them in places where I felt like it made sense. But now we're on to the interior. It is a pretty small build, which was good. It was refreshing. I didn't need to focus a whole lot of attention and time into the interior. I think the hardest part for me was finding where the bathroom would go, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. And then I gave up and I just like map out where the foyer goes. I also forgot there wasn't an upstairs. So first I had placed stairs down. I probably cut it out though. And then I realized that there's no upstairs. There's only towers, and so I like changed it to just like the ladders going up to the tower. But the floor plan is pretty simple for this. You just walk in. There's going to be a big chandelier in the entryway. You walk down the hall and there's like a seating room or sitting room. I never know what to say for that. A bathroom to the side, and down a hallway is the bedroom. And then to the left, it ends up being like a kitchen and dining space together, which I was nervous that the kitchen and dining room wouldn't be functional because there's like you could see there's a green glow, and that's because there's lava lamps like in the foundation that I couldn't get out. And I was like, these lava lamps are gonna make my build not functional, and I do not know how to fix it. And so it's just gonna be non-functional. But once I finished furnishing everything and I play tested it, I was like, okay, good, this works. So I'm like 90% like certain that everything works in the build. I play tested the bathroom and the kitchen with the stove. Um, so there shouldn't be any problems. I'm pretty sure I had my sim try the bed too, and that worked. The other stuff, I didn't really play test, but I feel like I usually don't play test every item. I only ever really play test the bathroom, the bed, and the kitchen stuff because I feel like that's really just the most important part of the build. Usually the one that always like if my build's not functional, it's because of the kitchen normally. It's always the kitchen that gives me a problem, and so if the kitchen is functional, I kind of just, like, understand that the entire build is going to be completely fine. But I really love how the house glows. It's just, like, I really like the look of it. It doesn't look this exact same without my G shade on. This looks like much more like yellowy green, where in like without G shade, it looks a bit more intense, the green, which isn't bad. I think I like both for it. Sometimes I think my builds will look ugly without G shade on, but this one I felt like it worked. It's just like a little bit more vibrant, which isn't really how I like I guess my pictures to look. I don't like my pictures being very vibrant, but I don't mind like the build itself. That's just the colors in the game in general. So I can't really complain that much. I also this time I picked out the rugs first. And I think it was a good plan because picking out rugs in this game, like it is a time, and I always just want to use the same like 3 rugs, and then I want to use them in every part of the house. So I like just went in and I was like, let me pick out the rugs first because I really just like was going for very dark colors. Because like normally I go for like very warm browns and stuff like that. But I feel like this is way more like cool toned, which you can see with some of the swatches like you had seen just before the little side table. It was in my normal warm brown that I usually pick, and then I changed the swatch to make it a little bit more cool toned, and that's like what I was doing throughout the build, which also is maybe why I really enjoyed furnishing this one because it was a little bit like different compared to well, I mean it's really different. I used green lighting everywhere, but I mean like the swatches were um just a little bit different from what I usually do. I use pretty much all the same items that I would like normally go for, except in different swatches. But I really like, I don't think I've used that coffee table before. Is that in the new stuff pack? It must be. That's probably why, because I cannot think of where that coffee table's from. I did use quite a bit of stuff from the stuff pack, mostly because it's like new for me and I've been excited to use it. And so if I'm like, oh, I need to find a mirror, then I'm like, okay, I'm using this mirror right now. I also love this bed. This bed is like a little bit brighter green without G shade on, but um, it looks really nice with G shade on, and I could get past the bright green with it like off too. But I placed a lot of plants around too, mostly the like long ceiling plant. I put that pretty much everywhere. It was like my lazy way of decorating, but I feel like it really worked, and I think it tied the rooms together and made them feel cohesive, which I really liked. I really like that the ladders also like auto place ivy when they're on an exterior wall like that. I feel like that really like added a nice touch to it too. And the ladder that's in the bedroom leads up to like two greenhouse spaces. um, that's pretty much what those ones are. You had seen the other ones. Um, the tower in like the front of the build that's like um right above the study. That's just like a chess table area. I really was running out of ideas of what to do in the towers because originally the office was going to be the bathroom, and then above the bathroom was going to be a plant room. And I liked the idea of like someone taking a bath and then they like go up like the ladder and like there's just plants everywhere. I thought that was like a nice like idea, and then I forgot to do that, and so I didn't do that. But this is the dining room and kitchen, which I'm happy that it is functional because I really like this space. It's pretty simple. I've been less like strict on how much clutter I add. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to clutter my builds to like an extreme level. And it's like the only reason that I've like kind of like cut back is because I was looking at Sash's build when we were on VC, and I loved the amount of furniture that she put into her shell challenge, and I was like, that's like the perfect amount of furniture. It's like not too much, it's not too little. And so I've been keeping that in my mind, especially when I was doing this. I was like, all I need is like a few pieces on this table and a couple pieces on the shelf, and I'm becoming sad. That's like what was going through my mind. I also really struggled picking out these counters. I just went with like just like a black swatch for it because none of the wood tones I felt like matched the vibe very well. I'm also using this fireplace for the first time. I don't even know which pack that's from, but I've never used it before. But I wanted a fireplace in here because I wanted the chimney smoke. But then I forgot the chimney completely. So I added that in when I was taking the like intro video. So the chimney smoke could be in the video. And I was like, I always forget that now. That's like the one thing I forget is like a chimney in my builds like constantly. And then I always just add it in last minute. But I also kept the clutter simple over here too. I just put three pieces that I thought like worked really well together, and I feel like it works nicely. It like feels very witchy or like vampiric, which matches Forgotten Hollow pretty well. I haven't built in Forgotten Hollow in quite some time. I don't need like it had to have been. I mean, I'm sure I built in here for Halloween, but Halloween was a long time ago. It's April now. So even then it's been a pretty long time. And this is the office room that I said I was going to make a bathroom and I forgot about it. It's because I picked out this desk and I was like, I love this desk. I'm using this in this build. And then I placed it in that room, and so I kind of forgot that that was going to be a bathroom, and it's fine because then I made another bathroom off of the living room area. This build doesn't need two bathrooms. It's a small build. It has one bedroom. I mean, this could have been a bedroom. Um, yeah, it could have been, but yeah, the tower it's slightly big enough for like a bed to fit without it like clipping into the walls, which maybe that was my plan to make it a bedroom too, and I just forgot completely. I also wasn't sold on this purple rug up here, but I was like, I there's not a lot of rug options left. I'm just gonna have to go with this, and I'm gonna just accept that there's purple up here now. And then I turned the lights to like nighttime and I was like, okay, I like this better because the it's like so many windows that the green was being taken out of it. And so once I did that, I liked it a little bit better. And I also forgot this. This tower, I thought I was done with the build and I was gonna upload it to the gallery, and then I realized that I didn't do this and I didn't get my plant tower. And like I had the idea of the plant tower since the start and I didn't do one. And so I made sure that this one was, and there's like two levels of this, which I put plants in both of them. There's not really anything to do in these towers. They're mostly just there for decoration. There's like a stool at the top. That's really it. There's like no gameplay purpose for this area at all. But I like to imagine that they grow their little plants up here for like spells or something like that. Who knows? Maybe they just sit there and read, but I feel like it works really nicely, and the green with the green lights looks really nice, and I like that bench. That's like an outdoor bench. I thought it fit well up there too. Yeah, that's the whole video. This is the screenshots. I was really happy with these screenshots this time. I know I always complain. I was like, oh, here's screenshots. They didn't come out too good. But these ones I actually really liked. I think that it looks really nice. But yeah, that's the whole video. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun building this one and having it be inspired by a Fortnite location that I really like on the map. But yeah, thank you. Bye.